everyone, coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. As you see these four major topics we're going to talk about. The new AEW Women's Champion Chris Stanley taking on Mika Shiranka in the main event for the women's title, as well as the AEW Champion Hangman Page taking on Lee Moriarty. Lee Moriarty get himself in contention because the next number one contender for the AEW title. Well, speaking of, we open the show with the tag team championship, and Bandito and Brother Lee takes on the Gates of Agony, Khan and Tolioni. Khan and Tolioni looked impressive in their match against the Hurt Syndicate, and they win some tag team gold. We'll see. And what is Tony Khan's major announcement? Maybe regarding something dealing with those tag team titles. We'll talk about it coming up as the AEW Dynamite Ring Report starts right here, right now. Hello, everyone. This is Kendrick Dix for your AEW Dynamite Ring Report. Join us in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing for the AEW Dynamite Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. That's not wasting no time whatsoever. Let's get things started with the tag team titles. Tag team championships were on the line as the Gates of Agony challenge. And they challenged, you know who, Bandito and Big Broly Lee. Well, Bandito and Broly Lee was trying to start a head start. The Gates of Agony coming from their win from All Out. And the Gates of Agony, let's go look back right quick what the Gates did. The Gates of Agony picking up the win over the Hurt Syndicate right here. The Gates of Agony really looked impressive. Like I said, Khan Tolioni was ready. The Gates of Agony really won their match, and they did by defeating the Hurt Syndicate throughout the whole entire match. So you want to look back at All Out when the Hurt Syndicate had it. We'll show you that later on in the show. But the Gates of Agony won their match over the Hurt Syndicate, getting the victory and stuff, winning all victory and stuff. So getting them some momentum and stuff like that heading to the match. But throughout the whole entire match, if we can. You see right there, sorry folks, that the Gates of Agony did not win. They was unsuccessful with winning the tag team championships. Bro Lee and Bandito retained their tag team championships and keeps the motion going. So I guess Bro and Bandito were giving the Gates of Agony something to play with, but the Gates of Agony unfortunately couldn't win the tag team titles. Well, speaking of that, world champion Hangman Page was in action. He took on Lee Moriarty. The world champion won, and the world champion did try to be give somebody equal opportunity. It just wasn't tonight, but the world champion looking for more competition. I think that's what he wants, and that's what he's going to get down the road. But the world champion Hangman Page might have to look for more competition. I don't know who next for him. I mean, we just have to wait and see and figure out what's that going to be. But hey, we'll find out down the road eventually. Well, we saw Edge and Christian. We know Beth Phoenix was trying to help save her husband, Edge, trying to get involved in the match. Edge said he got to take some time off to reflect and try to refocus and try to see what his head at, because he felt like Beth Phoenix, his wife, was in harm's way, and he could have done something to stop that. But unfortunately, Beth Phoenix was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And now Edge wants to step away and figure out what's next for him. Christian a little bit pondering, wondering what's going on. But Christian will have to wait and see about that, stuff like that. Well, we see right here. What's his name? Orange Cassidy is back. Orange Cassidy is back. He ruined the surprise that Don Callis was going to show the folks, the world, his new painting. But Orange Cassidy decided to make matters worse and just showed up. Orange Cassidy came out there, and Orange Cassidy came out there to show his painting and stuff like that, which led Don Callis a little bit mad, upset. But that's Don Callis for you. And Don Callis trying to figure out what's next and stuff. And we saw that on how that went down. But we saw the win right there. The well but we saw Don Callis with that. But we see I forgot his name. He won his match. I forget botching folks' name. But what's his name came out there? Kyle Fletcher saying he wants to put his title on line against that dude who won the match. If you know his name, let me know. He wants to put his title on line against his streak. So next week on Dynamite it'll be streak versus title. Can I forgot the dude's name, but he'll get a shot at the AEW TNT Championship. Can he be TNT champion? That's gonna be the question that everybody wants to know. We'll have to wait and see about that and figure out what that's gonna be coming forward and stuff. Well, we see Mark Briscoe riling up the troops. Mark Briscoe riling up the troops. And, we see Mark Briscoe trying to get everybody together, and we see he had riled them up and got what's his name, a championship match. Well, FTR came out there trying to apologize for their actions on attacking Beth Phoenix. Um, Willow Nightingale came out there. Beth Phoenix, she tried to say for women's sake, FTR was trying to do the right thing, but FTR felt like that she was trying to intrude and they were trying to restrain themselves. It just wasn't enough. FTR realizing that until Speedball and Kevin Knight came out there to help out, and they did. We'll see what this gonna lead to coming forward and stuff as well. So MJF came out there storing up his loss against Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe beat the living daylight out of MJF, and MJF will not be messing with him around no more and stuff. MJF want to refocus as well, take some time off. Maybe MJF trying to get some acting stuff going on. Who knows? MJF now trying to figure out, refocus, and figures out his career as he go. So who knows what MJF is going to do next? We know that a Jurassic Express reunited at All Out. Jurassic Express returns. They're gonna come back. We don't know what's gonna be next with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, the former tag team champions. They're gonna be coming back reuniting. What's next for Jurassic Express? We just have to wait and see about that. Well, we get to this right here. Chris Stanley making her debut as the AEW Women's Champion. Ain't time to Tony Storm now taking a break. I guess everybody's taking a break. Yeah. We know Chris Stanley was looking forward for her match as well. Well, we were looking forward to. We'll see Chris in a minute. But beforehand, Chris was in action. Chris Stanley was in action. She defended her title against Mika, and what's his name came out there trying to recruit Chris into the into that group, John Moxley group. Chris Stanley said, "You know what? Screw you. I'm not joining that group." She gave her fellow friend Willow you to that and just clotheslined him and told him, "Screw him," and she clotheslined him, and she did so. John Moxley said, "You don't want to join Death Riders after you won your women's championship," which I think they're gonna settle a feud between her and what's her name? The Death Riders. We'll see that match coming up, but Moxley wasn't happy. Moxley turned his attention around after he found out that Darby Allin came out there. Darby Allin came out there with a blowtorch, and Darby Allin wanted to blowtorch anything, everything in sight. He issued a challenge to Moxley at Wrestle Dream. I quit match. What they say? 5 letters, 2 words. I quit. And we'll see that if Moxley's going to accept. Moxley like he was frightened and petrified at it, like he was scared. He already got scared enough when what's his name tried to set him on fire. If we can show you that right quick before we leave out, try to set him on fire, but Moxley, I guess not. But we saw that, and we'll see about that coming forward. So I guess this AEW was so, but it just wasn't. I mean, it kept my attention span going today. But like most AEW shows, it was good. But I give it, it was a good rating. I mean, wasn't the best, but hey, it did what it did. All right. We move on from the AEW Dynamite Ring Report right quick to the heat check. Let's get to the heat check right quick. And on the heat check, we want to talk about this right here. The AEW announced that they're going to be bringing new tag team championships for the women's division. AEW bringing this right here, made official by the president of AEW, Tony Khan. Tony Khan made official tonight that the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships are coming and gave a thumbs up. So they're going to be competing with the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. We don't know when it's going to be, but he said throughout before the end of the year. So the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships are coming. So we'll see. Renee Young giving the introduction of the new Women's Tag Team Championships presentation. She could have did that backstage, but I guess they wanted to do it up in the front of the aisle and stuff. Just to show they're bringing women's tag team championships. Like we said, the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships are coming to AEW. Congratulations AEW on that. Let's give us a nice subrate right here from new Women's Tag Team Champions to Women's Tag Team Champions from a different promotion. We just found out that TNA announced that they're going to be inducted Mickey James and none other than the Beautiful People. The Beautiful People won the TNA Knockout Tag Team Championships. They're going to be enshrined and put their name into the TNA Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Velvet Sky and Angelina Love. They're going to the Hall of Fame. Both women were former TNA Women's Champions, Knockouts Champions, and now they get their rightful place in history as TNA Women's Knockout Tag Team Champions, Hall of Famers. So congratulations. Well, speaking of that, right here, Lola Vice. She's next. I think Lola Vice is going to be the next NXT Women's Champion. Her shaking her rump and stuff. She's next in line. You can tell Lola Vice is ready. You can tell right there. Lola Vice is ready. She showed a picture of her whole Nate, the NXT Women's Championship. So look for Lola Vice to be next in line for Women's Tag Team Championship. As well as this right here. We know next week, the Time vs. Creed hologram. I'm sorry, folks. I knew who I was talking about. It was hologram. Hologram get a shot at the TNT Championship. Hologram. Can hologram do it? Title versus Street. It looked like Kyle Fletcher was a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, he could be one day a future AEW champion. I think he is going to be a future AEW champion. Down the road, we'll see. As well as this right here. We told you, Jurassic Express return. Look for Jungle Boy in Luchasaurus reuniting. They say reuniting feels so good, and they're gonna reunite next week. We'll see that coming your way next week. So looking forward to seeing Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus reuniting. Also, too, we told you that the AEW introducing new tag team championships. They're bringing it down, so we'll see about the AEW tag team championships coming your way. Next year, sometime this year. Well, who was the superstar of the night? Well, I mean, everybody. I mean, the women's tag team championships were the superstar of the night, but when you look down and bear deep, I think when you look at it, the tag team match stood out. The Gates of Agony, Ton KD only with Ricochet stood out, as well as Brody Lee Bandino and what's his name? They all stood out. So everyone stood out, but I'm kind of watching the Gates of Agony. Kong and Tony Yolen. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with down the road. So look for Khan Tony Yolen perhaps winning trios tag team titles with Ricochet down the road. And Darby Allin with that blowtorch. Don't know why he was threatening with that blowtorch, but like we said, so hey, we see about that as well. Also, too, we see that the girl from Toxic Attraction, she decided that she don't want to be in WWE due to personal reasons. Jasmine, she said, and guys, she said right here, she said she's not making no OnlyFans as well. So a lot of people thought she was gonna do like her predecessors, like Mandy Rose and everybody else, do OnlyFans. She said, no, I'm not interested in that. Who knows what's going on, but hey, wish her the best of luck. All right, we're gonna leave you with Darby Allin threatening John Moxley to challenge him to a match for the I Quit match. So we'll see if John Moxley is going to accept that I Quit match. Only time will tell on that. Thank you all for watching this edition of Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. We'll see you Friday for the SmackDown Ring Report, leading on towards Crown Jewel and what's called Rose Road, the Crown Jewel is going to be. Thank you all for watching this edition of Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kendra Dixon. So long. We have a good night.